Welcome back. Let's talk about market fundamentals, where we are headed from here. Deepak Jasani of HDFC Securities is now with us on the show. Deepak, morning, and thank you very much for joining in. Are you a bit concerned about the kind of carnage that we've seen in the broader markets over the last couple of days? 10% off, for the index from recent peaks, individual stocks even more. And what are you recommending your retail investors? Lighten up their small cap holding? And what is their, how are they feeling about, the fall that they've seen in the portfolio when you chat with them?
Yeah, good morning, and thanks for having me. Frankly, this kind of fall was expected, not the speed of the fall, but the fall itself after such a big rise. The timing was uncertain. Now, the retailers are basically shell-shocked by the fall over the last 3 days. They are coming to terms with it. Today, the markets have given some sort of a breather. So now they are hoping that this kind of a recovery should sustain for a few days. But broadly, we think that whenever the small and mid-cap indices have fallen, they have fallen for a minimum of 3 months, if you see between September 23 to November 23. And going a little back, I think for about 18-19 months between Jan 18 to August 19. Of course, the macro realities then and here are slightly different. But to expect that this correction will get over very soon is a little too much. I think this correction could last some more weeks.
Correction could last another couple of weeks. Okay, that's interesting. Deepak, so, how are you negotiating it with respect to, and also just tell us about overall some of the topics that you had in the mid-cap and small-cap space. Would you advise people go in and partly start buying right now or still wait it out? Because this is a time where it's all about sort of separating the good from the not so good, right?
Right. So we have been advising our clients over the last few months that they should stick to their asset allocation models. Because of the rise in the equity values, we have been suggesting that they should be taking profits from equities and putting into the other asset classes. Now, some of them have done it, some of them have not done it because of greed. Now, whoever has not done it, now probably they are facing some sort of a quandary. Now, we think that markets could remain range bound. The Nifty could consolidate for a few months from now. We may not make a new high in a hurry. So we have been advising clients to sort of shortlist certain stocks and sip into them over the next few weeks or months in case they are underinvested in equities. So as far as particular stocks or particular themes are concerned, we are currently, we like infra exposed stocks. We like some pharma, capital goods, auto ancillary, and select PSU stocks. So that is where we have asked our clients to focus on.
What are these select PSUs where you are saying investors, keep your retail shareholders, keep a lookout if the stocks fall, maybe do a sip and start entering? Could you name these PSU stocks which you like?
So we'll let us not name them, but I think we like the stocks from the powers, PSU power sector, where there is scope for further re-rating in that space. Apart from that, I think certain rail stocks at a particular level also look interesting.
These rail stocks interesting at these levels, or only if they fall another 10-20%?
So typically we should do a SIP. So the entire money should not be put at this level, because as I said, we expect the correction to last some more weeks. So there may be a fall, there may be a recovery, and another set of fall. So in that sense, we will have enough time to accumulate stocks.
Deepak, for any fresh allocation that needs to be made, I mean, in every incremental rupee that you would want to invest in, would you put it in PSU banks, or would you put it in large blue chip private sector banks?
A tough question. I think between the two, I think we will prefer PSU banks more because there is still some scope for them to catch up with the valuations of the private sector banks, going by the fact that a lot of improvement has been seen across various parameters among the PSU banks.
Was Federal Bank one of the stocks that HDFC Bank as a house liked? And how would you view the recent developments on RBI clamping down on the issuance of new co-branded credit cards?
Yeah, so regulators have become a little more active lately in that sense. So across sectors, we have been seeing action from regulators trying to clamp down on certain activities or certain actions. Federal Bank, I think the institutional wing has a buy call on that, and the latest RBI regulation or the directive may not sort of impact their profitability to a large extent.
Overall, what about the auto space? We just heard the news yesterday on the EV scheme getting an extension basically for the next 4 months or so. So the government is continuing to subsidize and support the purchase of electric vehicles. At the same time, even on the ICE side, at least the two-wheeler numbers have been looking very, very good. So how are you approaching the auto sector, given that two-wheeler stocks have also run up quite a bit?
Yeah, so two-wheelers, I think after underperforming for a couple of quarters or more couple of years, has now come back in favor because the base effect has come into effect. Now, as far as the EVs are concerned, I think lately we have seen that the EV sales of cars have fallen despite the subsidy being in force. So we are a little cautious on the EV side, but the ICE side, I think we are quite comfortable with the passenger vehicle space.
And in the passenger vehicle space, Deepak, what is it that you like?
So let us not discuss individual stocks at this point of time. Thank you.
Okay, we'll leave the conversation here for now. Deepak, thank you very much for joining in. We'll slip into a very short break on that note. The markets are inching up now. It's a 150-point gain on the Nifty. The Sensex has moved up close to about 300 points. IT is making a comeback. So TCS, Wipro at the day's high. Wipro has rallied close to about 1.5%. ICICI Bank too is putting on some more muscle. ICICI Bank has gained nearly 1%. We'll slip into a break and we'll come back with more. Thank you for watching CNBC TV 18. For all our top stories and news updates, follow us on our social media platforms.